Well, the progressives are really good at making life progressively worse for everyone, and that urban decay paid for by your tax dollars. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name is Luke Radowski here of WeAreChange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely wild and bewildering news to get into today. As of course, domestically, medically, the situation is not all right, and it probably will get a lot worse with a lot of fake experts out there spreading a lot of crazy nonsense and disinformation. All of this as we have allegedly a CIA and FBI agent talking about how he brought down Alex Jones, an independent media figure in this world, all through nudging him as some employees of Twitter in Brazil soon might be arrested. What's going on here when it comes to this larger attack against free speech and alternative media? Well, we're going to be talking about that plus a lot more all here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast looks like it's from the streets of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where a lot of people aren't living their best life. This is fifth generational warfare. This is the United States being turned into a third world nation as the government and powers that be keep incentivizing and financing some really horrible behaviors that are being normalized through an ever so destructive, degenerate culture. This, as in our modern society, the easy choices are usually the worst ones you can make for yourself, as the whole entire system has absolutely failed you, and that was its task from the very beginning. All of this as now the Daily Mail is reporting that there's a spread of a bird flu inside of the United States that is causing a lot of alarm, to the point where the Daily Mail is now reporting what food you can and cannot eat amongst this outbreak, according to an ex-FDA food chief that is telling people to avoid steakhouses, salad dressing, and, quote, even some of people's favorite desserts. Specifically telling people to avoid Caesar salads, runny egg yolks, rare steaks, all things that I personally enjoy, of course, without seed oils. This as the United States was just working with China on weaponizing bird flu. Excuse me, not weaponizing. They were doing gain-of-function research with bird flu. Coincidentally, not so long ago, as now we are getting some reports of the sickness being spread around the United States. This has also recently, the FDA just issued a dire recall on a hand sanitizer after, quote, the highly poisonous substance detected has been correlated with causing comas and blindness. Yes, there's a particular brand of aloe gel hand sanitizer that contains methanol that the FDA is, of course, recalling. This, as now a lot of people are questioning the larger kind of sanitation theater that we were all going through a few years ago that was cheered on by the corporate media establishment that recently also went as far as to tell you that eclipses and earthquakes are somehow a result of climate change. That was the opinion shared on The View that correlated all of these natural phenomenons on the weather not being gooder. I kid you not. That's their actual take on the matter.
Leaving, we've got a solar eclipse. We've got the earthquake. She ran down the hallway.
The rapture is here.
The rapture's here. And then also I learned that the cicadas are coming.
Cicadas.
Although I love
for the first time in like
No.
100 years.
No.
Two different. Well, this is what I read.
There's two different kinds of cicadas.
Yes, two different times are coming.
The good cicadas and the bad
But
cicadas.
for the first time in many, many years.
No, every 17 years this happens.
Well, that's not what I read, but maybe you know, maybe
well,
you know better. But
in
I
a
will
way,
say all those things together would maybe lead one to believe that, you know, either climate change exists,
That's more
or
the
something
point.
is really
Except
going
Earth is
on.
returning. Earthquakes are not at the mercy of climate change. It's underground. It can't. I don't think that's...
It happens,
How about the warming of the
and
planet?
the eclipse. They've known about the eclipse coming.
Yeah, those cicadas. I mean, man, that's definitely showing some very troubling signs ahead of us. As luckily, there were some counter viewpoints on The View going up against this ridiculousness, as of course we don't have a lot of counter viewpoints on Salon, that recently is also blaming male rage fueled by MAGA on why a lot of white women are just being randomly punched in the streets of New York City. This is very interestingly, a lot of these women do not dare to describe their attackers. A lot of surveillance footage and cell phone footage usually isn't seen or correlated here as it's pretty fair to say here that whatever is happening probably won't be fitting along the lines of the propaganda and larger agenda that they're trying to push on you. This, as usually the truth is the enemy of the state that is doing everything in their power in order to trample it and destroy it, so people, of course, never get to see it. And that's one reason out of many reasons why we created LukeUnfiltered.com, as of course we provide you a lot of incredible offers of value, nature hike, free ticket giveaways, contests, videos almost every single day for members, as well as the ability to call into our live show that we're going to be doing on this particular channel later on today, 6 p.m. Eastern with Roger Stone. Tomorrow, we're doing another show, 6 p.m. Eastern with Peter Boghossian, as we have some really incredible people coming in the studio here in Miami, Florida, and joining us for some absolutely incredible conversations that you could be a part of just by simply signing up to LukeUnfiltered.com. Then you get access to a special Telegram channel. You go on that Telegram channel when we are doing our live show, that we notify you in that Telegram channel that we are, and you tell us, hey, I want to call in unfiltered, unvetted questions to us and anyone here that we have in attendance that you guys get to participate with just by simply signing up to LukeUnfiltered.com, one of the best members area on the internet, as we strive to provide you some really awesome, incredible offers of value, as now probably we will be expanding our nature hike, not just to, of course, Miami, Florida, but Austin, Texas, maybe even Washington, D.C. We'll see. We'll let you know about that, plus a lot more, all through, of course, our updates on the members. Exclusive video coming out right after this one, all on LukeUnfiltered.com. This, as it definitely does look like there's a lot of underhanded attacks against alternative independent media voices, individuals like Alex Jones, a man who, of course, we agree with some things, disagree on other things about, a man who has been wrong about some things, but overwhelmingly really right on a lot of other really controversial issues in our modern discourse, to the point where now many people have in their homes a literal frickin' Alex Jones was right jar, as we have one here that is portrayed in our particular studio. And whether you love him or you hate him, it's important to note here that Alex Jones has definitely spurred on a lot of very interesting, curious conversations that would have never happened if it wasn't for his kind of ingenuity, creativity, and thirst for knowledge and information that usually is denied to the general public. And because of this kind of larger pursuit and thirst of what's really happening in this world, he has been under attack by a lot of very big establishment figures that, of course, have launched many different attacks against him. Not just corporate media attacks, but, of course, legal attacks that have absolutely bankrupted him and got rid of a lot of his money. This, as we have some breaking new video from Sound Investigations releasing what looks like an undercover video of a Gavin O. Blemis that allegedly is a contracting officer with the Central Intelligence Agency that came out and through this undercover video revealed some very interesting information. Now, it's important to note here that a lot of this video, a lot of this testimony came through what looks like undercover secret recordings of Gavin O. Blemis that might or might have not been the total truth here. As Gavin here says in this undercover video of what looks like a date with him and another gentleman, describes how with the case of Alex Jones, the, quote, agency got what it wanted to, quote, take all of his money. Going on and describing situations where, of course, the agency helped nudged families that were defamed by Alex Jones to sue him in civil court for defamation, with legal proceedings that, of course, ended up making Alex Jones liable for billions of dollars. Not just hundreds of millions, billions. This, as the massive debt to these families still remains unpaid, as Alex Jones was seen by TMZ hanging out and chilling out in Hawaii recently, enjoying himself by the bar with his wife and enjoying what looks like a family vacation. As now we have new questions about the potential FBI involvement in this larger defamation case against Alex Jones that took away a lot of his funds, a lot of his resources, and his ability to reach more people, which he is still doing everything in his power desperately to fight against. This, as this undercover video also had O'Blames describe how anyone could be put in jail by the agencies for, quote, whatever they want, saying, quote, you can kind of put anyone in jail if you know what to do. As Alex Jones has decided to respond to this video on his official Twitter account by saying, quote, breaking bombshell, FBI CIA deep state manager confirms FBI agents were in the crowd on J6. Officers confesses to 3-letter government agencies targeting Alex Jones to silence him. More info set to break soon. Elon Musk, quote, please call for a congressional investigation ASAP. As of course, this is a short segment from the video that is now going viral all over the non-approved social media organizations that are not censoring it.
You can kind of put anyone in jail if you know what to do.
How?
You set them up.
Does the Bureau practice entrapment a lot?
Yeah, we get really close. We call it a nudge.
A nudge.
A nudge. Sometimes you just gotta give them a quick little, just to see what happens. Sometimes you light the fuse and just wait for it to follow. Nothing like putting out a fake social media thing to like really get people mad.
Alex Jones.
Yeah, so we were after him.
You are?
We did what we wanted.
Which was what?
Took his money away, chopped his legs off.
Yeah, shouts out to Sound Investigation for releasing this undercover style that is very similar to James O'Keefe's style of investigative reporting, where essentially a lot of government employees become unknown whistleblowers through what looks like dates where they are speaking to, I believe, someone that they're trying to be affectionate with. Now, are they telling the truth here? Are they embellishing? That is left for the audience to interpret here. As of course, sometimes people say a lot of weird things on dates in order to impress the people that they're trying to court here. But it is fair to say that Alex Jones definitely hasn't had a larger kind of love affair with the CIA and FBI, who throughout his entire career he has been calling out. Now, would that mean that they would work in an underhanded way in order to try to take him out, in order not to face criticisms from him about their organization? Well, let's just be honest here. Yeah. Absolutely, as of course the organization doesn't have the best track record when it comes to, quote, doing the right legal and lawful things. So is this story true? Well, it probably is. Is it 100% confirmed? No. But there is a larger war on, of course, independent media voices, a larger war on freedom of speech, as perfectly represented by what's happening right now in Brazil, where Elon Musk now is reporting that Twitter employees in Brazil are now being threatened with arrest by the government there that is really not happy about them not complying with the Brazilian government's censorship efforts in that country. This as Elon Musk is now promising to data dump a lot of important information to what the Brazilian government is asking Twitter to do in this particular case, as they are asking for censorship of political speech in their country, which Elon Musk is disagreeing with, as soon we might see exactly what the Brazilian government wants censored from the general public, as a lot of this is done through the larger fight between the Brazilian Supreme Court and Twitter, a Brazilian Supreme Court that many people argue is abusing their positions of power, stifling dissent, and censoring political voices that they disagree with. This as the main judge in question here is, of course, the Brazilian Supreme Court Justice Alexandria de Moraes, who even the New York Times described as, quote, highly controversial, as the New York Times writes that he jailed people without trial for posting threats on social media. He helped sentence a sitting congressman to nearly 9 years in prison for threatening the court. He ordered raids on businesses with little evidence of wrongdoing. He suspended an elected governor from his job and unilaterally blocked dozens of accounts and thousands of posts on social media with virtually no transparency or room for appeal. Clearly a judge who has no regard for the law or being unbiased here, as of course a lot of people point to him using his power in a political way to punish his larger political opponents. This at the same time as portraying himself as the defender of democracy, when in reality they're acting like absolute totalitarian creeps that are pushing for an authoritarian censorship regime that wants to destroy any kind of civil discourse or political conversation in the country that they don't see fit. This as a lot of Bolsonaro supporters, the previous president of Brazil, are absolutely being targeted and attacked here. And it's pretty clear here, even from reporting from Glenn Greenwald, that this man is absolutely out of control and soon might be arresting employees at Twitter for just allowing people to be able to speak freely with each other. This as Elon Musk has even called for the Supreme Court justice to face trial for his crimes and his larger abuse of power. As of course, Elon Musk here is making the right decision and standing up against the larger attacks that are being made against individuals just being able to talk to each other. This as Elon Musk 13 hours ago tweeted, quote, "If you support the side that censors free speech and facts, you are not woke or progressive, you're a tyrant." And I would absolutely agree with his larger assessment here. As he even described how the Supreme Court justice has become a dictator of Brazil, and he even has the current president Lula there, quote, on a leash. And as I've told you guys before, truth is the enemy of an empire that lives off lies, lies that they tell you every single day that could go away at any moment, at any time, as soon as we realize it for what it is. That realization is something that a lot of powerful people in authority that they routinely abuse are absolutely fearful of. And that's why it's more important to share these messages, to share independent media more than ever, as of course there is a direct informational attack and war happening right now that you could participate in right now. Start the conversations, have them while you still can. Free speech is like a muscle. You don't use it, you lose it. Don't lose it. Share this video. Thank you so much for signing up to LukeUnfiltered.com. A new video coming your way right now. It wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.